Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Feels good to be back. Well, Rossi, you were here in Cali for a bit. We linked up, kicked it. It was good seeing the good brother in person, not screen to screen. First and foremost, man. How was your trip, brother? How was it?
It was good. It was nice. It was definitely nice to, like you said, see you, see some of the other good brothers, see the homies with a Z. And it was a lot of fun. And we had a lot of drinks that
Oh,
I haven't had in a while. And we smoked quite a bit that I also
oof.
haven't done in that much. And it
Yeah.
was awesome. It was fun. We had we had Metalocalypse playing for at least probably like 7 hours straight, I feel like. Um,
What
and
streaming
it
app is
was
that on? Because we've been trying to look for that.
that is on HBO Max.
Okay,
Plug
HBO
to
Max.
HBO Max.
Okay.
Plug, guys. And it's also got like every Adult Swim stuff.
Oh, really? I
So
know they had
that's
Ed, Ed,
yeah.
and Eddie, but I know they had like all the Adult Swim
Because
like
then,
catalog.
because then, if you still have yet to actually see all of it, go check out Frisky Dingo. Because that is on HBO Max.
I'll add that to the
I'm just
list. I'm not
shout.
gonna.
I'm just plugging HBO right now. Because you gave me my two favorite shows,
Yeah,
Frisky and Metalocalypse. So I
and they
mean, you're
didn't
doing.
charge you $30 to watch them.
They did not charge me $30, which I feel like is a great. We thought about maybe starting this to the end. Do you want to just kind of get it out right now? Like
Um,
this is the thing,
I mean,
guys.
yeah, we can actually because I
This
think
is what's going on in the world right now, guys.
yeah.
I feel like one of the biggest topics, especially since, like Hollywood said, I got to come down to Cali for a
Mhm.
weekend. Great times, great friends. And now I'm back in the hot fucking shit of Arizona, and it's good. It's 100 degrees right now, and it is what nine o'clock at night.
That is
So
brutal, man.
it's
That is brutal. And I keep bragging over
uh,
here in Cali, being like, it's the coldest fucking summer that I've ever experienced and
that's it.
shit. But yeah, man. It was good seeing you as always. Holy shit, the hangovers as you get older, you
Oof,
get a whole lot fucking worse, man.
bad man.
I was dying a few times. I'm still kind of feeling it, and it's been like a few days already as it is. But I guess that comes with the age. But yeah, man. We bring it up. We were gonna wait it for last, but let's fucking just get right into it because it's the thing that's taken over all of Hollywood, all the media so far. Disney's own, or might not be their own much longer. Scarlett Johansson is apparently suing Disney due to the eventual release of Black Widow. Let me break it down for you guys at home watching. She had a contract. On that contract, it was specified the release of the movie, and she was going to get a percentage of that money from the box office. Then, a little thing happened in the world called a global pandemic. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but kind of put everything into shit. But it happened, and the movie industry significantly changed. So what Disney Plus had to do, or Disney itself, was to put Black Widow in theaters and Disney Plus after postponing it for well over a whole year, calendar year. And in retrospect, you can kind of understand that route they went with. Obviously, who knows how to manage any type of thing in the pandemic. You just manage as time goes on. But Disney never renegotiated the contract. They kind of left the contract the way it was, imprinting as stated. So the movie released in the theaters and Disney Plus. But here's my one wrinkle. On Disney Plus, it was still $30. It wasn't like an HBO Max, Space Jam New Legacy thing where like you just woke up and it was right there on for free. You still had to pay $30, and Disney even used the money from Disney Plus and added it to the box office for the Black Widow movie. It underperformed. That's easy. Everybody could say that's probably the most underperforming Marvel movie that they have had in the MCU.
Yet they advertised it as the best Marvel movie. And
You
you
know
know
what?
why they did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, and I know why they did it now. But it's like it's one of those things. So it came out. Space Jam came out the next week, knocked Black Widow off of number one. She went to number two. The movie wasn't making that much money. Then comes the news that Scarlett is going to start suing Disney because she says that they did not negotiate it. They did not give her the proper money that they promised her. And I do see both sides of the story, even though I don't really care. These are two probably billionaires, a $1 billion company, a multi-millionaire celebrity, both complaining for money during a global pandemic, where I'm just like, who the fuck cares? And number one, you should have been smart enough to realize that this was going to be the route they're going to go in anyways. And Disney should have fucking used the pandemic like they're using now to renegotiate the contract. But my whole thing is like, what did you expect? And this is where I think where she's wrong. I think she thought that this was going to be as close to $1 billion box office as it was going to get. She thought this was going to be like the next Wonder Woman. Sorry to say,
Oh
though,
yeah, definitely.
she thought
Yeah.
she was gonna be mainstream, big time money, almost $1 billion. I think Wonder Woman ended up like $888 million worldwide. Black Widow was not even fucking close to that number, and I think that's what triggered Scarlett Johansson to pull this off now, to want to sue Disney. Where I'm in the backseat being like, but here's the honest truth: you were never going to hit that number. It's time to be honest with that character. As much as they've aired
Well,
her on
and
everything, it's like, come
we
on.
touched on it. We
Yeah.
touched on it on an earlier episode where it's the character itself
Mm-hmm.
that was never a focus point,
Mm-mm.
but also the timing of it. If this movie was made and released probably at least 5-6 years ago, I think it probably would have done a lot better.
Yeah.
But they waited for the character to be killed off to then finally be like, now here's her story, which didn't make sense right off the bat. And then, yeah, like you already said, you throw in the pandemic of itself. No one knew if theaters were going to open. No one knew how they were going to release stuff. So there was always off the bat like chance of this movie wasn't even going to be in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So with that already, and you know, we saw how it went. Certain theaters open, certain select stuff like that. You still were dumb if you thought you were going to make probably anything really good.
Yeah.
Anybody that really was banking off of like going back to shithead Christopher Nolan, being like, oh no, I'm making all the money off that theatrical release. Not right now, you're not. Like, this is the worst time to release films.
Easily. Yep.
So I think any actor kind of thinking otherwise is a fucking idiot. Sorry, ScarJo, but you know,
yeah.
And
what's like your specific, like, what do they actually want to happen? Unless you can get rid of the pandemic and open the whole thing up, then okay, but you can't. So you gotta just deal with it. The other option is just keep pushing the movie back. But at that point, like you said, they've already waited so long. Who's in the care?
Their biggest thing, like you said, was they're trying to look at this as like an equal to Wonder Woman. Yet the person and character that were going to come out of this film being the next big star was her sister.
Yep.
And no one that didn't see the film definitely is going to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And people that did see the film, yeah, you stay for the credits, you watch the whole thing, and you can kind of get that feel. But it's still, what if people didn't watch the shows? They're going to be like, who the fuck is this?
Yep.
And more so kind of be like, where does this go? Where is this going? And obviously, I think a lot of people that go and see the Marvel films these days are up to speed on the shows, stuff like that, especially because of recently they know most, if not all of them, are connected in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still just, I don't know. It's weird because, yeah, like we said, you're already probably, I was going to say millionaire. You're probably a billionaire.
Yeah.
And was this really going to hurt you? No. Like, this was not, it was never going to fall. Mm-hmm. I knew that. Even at times when I was like, I kind of hope it does. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to. So she was going to make something off of it no matter what.
Yeah.
And then before, but also after, like you said, adding in the sales from the streaming.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand the true complaint. Like, I get that money is a thing, but it's like for somebody like you, it's like you've been banking off of this franchise as a C-list character, being part of a multi-billion franchise like Avengers and Marvel. Never was an issue then. And all of a sudden, as soon as they're killed off and you know this is your final hurrah as that C-list character, because let's be honest, I've said that since Age of Ultron, Black Widow has never been in the top of any like superhero list for really anybody.
No.
Up until the Avenger movies came out, and even then, it didn't really even matter to anybody. They kept building the whole origin thing. They tried it with Ultron. They kept it going. I always said if they're going to do Black Widow, the show went the route of just a series like they've been doing with like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, She-Hulk. All those are going to come out in the future. Kate Bishop series that's going to come out. They should have just went that route. The fact that they thought that Black Widow was going to be a massive success and be almost in the same atmosphere as Wonder Woman, to me, I think that was their number one mistake to begin with. Number two, they waited too long, like you said, and I brings me back. You waited till your character's completely finished to be like, well, now I want more money, and this is like the worst way for my character to go away. It seems more greedy to me, more so than like she was wrongfully done. And at the same time, I want to make it clear for everybody, I'm not defending Disney. Disney's a billionaire company that has completely misdone the whole pandemic as well, with all the people they fired from all their theme parks when they were opening them or trying to force the opening during the pandemic. So they're idiots as well in this. So it's just one of those things where it's like it's a billion-dollar company just being stupid and not being smart enough to renegotiate, and it's a celebrity multimillionaire that just wants more money. And the same thing goes for Corella. It's like you had to be smart enough to lower your expectations in this time. It's different. It just is. And if they can't see that, it's like I don't know how to defend them because it doesn't really make sense to me. I'm sorry that I'm not feeling pity that you didn't make more money that you expected before the pandemic. Shit changes, perspective changes, life changes. It's one of those things where I'm like, just kind of be more not sympathetic, but just acknowledge the fucking atmosphere and everything that's going on right now. Kind of seems paid to be kind of just sitting there being like, oh, I deserve more of a cut. Do you? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you brought up Cruella.
Mm.
I think if that, again, if we weren't in a pandemic and everything, I think that movie would have done far better than Black Widow in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one, yeah, probably got hurt because it was only in theaters for a bit.
Yeah.
And people either saw it or they didn't. And then the streaming site, whatever. But that movie was done being talked about like the weekend after it released.
Yeah.
Unless people saw it, no one was talking about it.
No, yeah.
That to me says that probably wasn't that great of a movie. I could be wrong. I didn't see it. I know everything that happened in it, but I didn't physically watch it.
It's one of those things where just it's kind of like, if anything, more people are being able to watch it by going to streaming apps, which at the end of the day be the end goal. Which I'm like, HBO Max kind of just like, and Warner Brothers like, well, we're going to release it anyways.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like you were saying earlier, I don't know why, honestly, actors that were releasing movies during this time weren't thinking the opposite route of saying like, oh, dude, at the end of the day, I hope they watch it on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, if any of the actors were like doubting themselves when we always say it, guys, we say we're not going to talk about it, but when Justice League fucking Snyder Cut came out, if any of those actors were doubting themselves prior, being like, oh, I hope they watch, clearly they now know the end results.
Yeah.
They fucking watched.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those routes that any decent movie, any kind of blockbuster movie, or just like big time kind of theater feel film coming out, if it's getting released to a streaming site, they should bank on that. Because like you said, more people are at home still, more people are able to get their phone or get their laptop, or just go on their, whatever TV they have and watch something. Even if it is $30 fucking extra dollars, they're either going to want to do it or they don't.
Yep.
Or the HBO route, they're already paying, I believe it's about $14 for like the normals, and you get everything on it. And it even tells you what films are only going to be on there for like a month.
Yeah, limited release.
Yeah. So it's like, if it's a movie you want to see, guess what? You get to watch it at home.
Yep.
And then once it's out, you get to wait, or you know what I mean? Then it's your choice. But I would take that route. I'm not an actor. I don't play one on TV. And I don't know. I would just be banking on that.
Yeah.
Even still, because things are still not completely opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are saying that places might be closed up again. So I don't know. It's a fun time, man. It's
a real fun time, man.
So I don't know. Actors at the end of the day, take your fucking paycheck and shut the fuck up.
I mean, honestly, it boils down to that.
That's as a part-time actor who doesn't get paid for his role. That's life, guys.
It really is, man. It's like, how should everybody feel that the Hollywood elite aren't getting the fucking like proper paychecks when everything else isn't proper at all anymore? You know what I mean? I feel like they just have to like humble themselves to a point where they won't. They never will. No. They're celebrities. And the problem is with that too, they have just like the generation of like stand accounts where there's just so many people obsessed with one certain character or one certain celebrity that they have so much backing because other people just want to live vicariously through them for whatever fucking reason. So I feel like they feel more entitled because of that as well. And I'm just where the point where it's like, just if you're a celebrity or somebody that's going to come out with a new movie, such as The Suicide Squad, it's doing theaters and doing HBO Max, and it's the highest rated DC movie ever, supposedly. I think it has like a 96% on RT, but that's another movie that's like, could have probably made some decent money in a regular time. Or it's not a regular time, so it's probably going to make not as much as you would think it's going to make, even with the great ratings it has. But that's just what it is. People aren't dying, no pun intended, to go to the theaters to watch Black Widow, especially when it's available at home. It's just one of those things where she has to acknowledge it. And again, I come back to it. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's like, why would you wait till your character's finished? I get it. Like it's like you went that route. You didn't have a problem before. You literally didn't say anything before the movie came out. But now that the movie came out and didn't do as great as you thought it was going to be, now it's an issue. And for like the whole report where like all the celebrities are cheering her on, I'm like, that's the person you want to cheer on? I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Google the shit that she's done in her career. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, a bull.
Because I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, I'll repeat myself this time too. Quote me on it, guys. Rossi's an asshole. I get it. But take your fucking paycheck. Go home happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Not side note, but kind of side note. Those that are watching on YouTube, this is going to be a special moment. Kind of like we've had it. If you watch in the background of my video, you might see some lightning.
Nice.
That's just an everyday thing sometimes in good state of Arizona. And
it's Arizona welcoming you back. It's like,
Arizona being like, oh, Rossi's home.
Rossi's home. Oh shit, man. But yeah, so yeah, Hollywood, I don't know, is going through its little weird transition. I think Denzel.
What's Denzel doing?
Denzel had a problem. He had a problem with HBO Max releasing one of his movies too, and I'm like, I get it because nobody watched it. That's like,
I feel bad because I don't think I did either.
That's the one with Freddie Mercury in it, or Homeboy that played Freddie Mercury.
I was like, oh, they got Freddie back? Good for him. It's a weird time, guys. The time to be alive. No, I know which one you're talking about, I think, but no, I did not see it.
I don't think anybody
probably not. We're sitting here being like, they could watch it, and they just didn't. That's the other flip side of streaming. If your movie wasn't really interesting, then people still aren't going to watch it.
Unless you're Zack Snyder.
Unless you're Zack Snyder and you built a fucking franchise for what felt like 10 years.
Did you see the trailer for that shit? The prequel to what was it, Army of the Dead?
Oh no.
Yeah, I watched it for a little bit and I checked out. I'm like, I'm good. Like I don't know the plan for that. It's like he got too weird.
Is it gonna have to CGI fucking Delia out of it again?
Probably. We're gonna go with that route. It's about the homeboy that opened the safe.
Okay.
I guess now we're following his career to the point of the movie, which I'm just like, that's an interesting choice to go.
So it's gonna not have anything like zombie related to it.
I didn't finish watching the trailer, but maybe it leads to like the beginning because wasn't there like a gap in between?
I fucking find out, dude.
Who the fuck knows?
Watched it one time, and one time felt like an eternity. It felt like a Zack Snyder movie usually.
Oof.
I know. Take that, guys. See, I'm not always a fan of this. Don't worry, guys.
Before we transition from the movie world, I brought up Suicide Squad. What do you think of the so fucking positive ratings so far, reviews for a DC movie for once?
DC's really the engine that really just will not die. I'm excited though. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see King Shark. I think he's my favorite going into it. Obviously, our boy, the Doctor of Thugonomics, being Peacemaker, definitely seems fun. It seems like it's going to be good, and it's obviously going to set up to his show that's going to come out later on in the year. I'm excited though. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for what it is and what it's looking like it's supposed to be. They're not hiding anything, you know what I mean? And if it does continue, like they actually build something out of this, all right. If they really don't, I feel like no matter what, there is going to be like an ending where it does open the door.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good. I think it's going to be at least worth the watch. So
yeah, it's going to be more watchable than
that
David Ayer's.
Yeah, that comes out in a week.
August 6th. August 6th releases on HBO Max and in theaters. But at this point, again, lower your expectations for shit like that. But HBO Max for free, you just pay the subscription, you get it, which is a hell of a deal to make because I mean it's a movie.
So I checked. So it is a week from today.
Yep.
From today, we get to see fucking John Cena hang out.
I feel like this is going to be his breakout role more so than what fucking Fast was supposed to be. With Vin, that's another one that I'm so glad. I'm so fucking happy that movie just came and went.
Like, what is Vin Diesel dead?
Yeah, so
his
happy. So glad, bro. Like I thought that movie was gonna drag like all the other ones have, where they just keep fucking playing the same goddamn music over and over again. It just came and went. Couldn't be happier. That's the one franchise I could give two shits about.
They just keep building and building. That's the end, and they're having a barbecue, and you're like, wait. All right. What
I mean, Dwayne said it best when he responded to Vin Diesel. He should have. He kind of mostly did by saying, in a nice way. Just to clarify the whole thing, apparently Vin Diesel said he made The Rock a better actor by giving him tough love. Of course, somebody asks Dwayne that, and Dwayne's just like, I laughed some more. Oh, and good luck with like Fast 10 and 12 or whatever. Which I'm like, perfect response.
They're skipping 11. They'll forget and just be like, wait, what?
It's like, could it count? It's like I couldn't count to 10. I didn't know you wanted.
I was like, no, we know, Vin. We know you can't count.
We get it. You can see it in your pupils.
We
realized that a long time ago, especially when you bring
back. Yeah, see, that's ridiculous.
That's when he comes back as Riddick. That's how it comes.
Oh God, we can't do that. Can't do. That's an episode that we will shoot.
Yeah,
we are with our good brother Nick once again.
Yeah,
because he apparently did tell me the whole story of Riddick, and he's a fucking awful person, and it made me hate those movies even more. I'm never gonna watch it.
Is Vin Diesel the worst actor in Hollywood right now? Now that I think about
it. That's a challenge. I would say he's top 5 worst actors in Hollywood.
Okay, give me your top 5. We gotta give me your top 5. We're gonna throw that out there. Yeah, on the spot. Vin Diesel's number 1 on mine.
Oh wow, Vin's number 1. Okay, but this is like current, or this is still just like people that I just don't fucking care about.
Yeah, you could do all time, whatever.
I'm trying to people think don't of care like about movies right now.
I can tell you right now, Jared Leto's number 2 on my list.
Oh yeah, there you go. He's on my list. I don't know the ranking because they all suck. Like no one outranks either. I think. Vin's on mine. Jared's on mine. Jake Gyllenhaal's on mine.
Really? Okay.
He's always been on mine. I did not give a fuck about Bubble Boy. He can do whatever other roles he wants. He's Bubble Boy to me.
They're gonna bring up Zodiac or some shit.
No, and I won't even call him Donnie Darko because guess what, guys? That movie sucked too. That's what'll get people being like, "How dare you?" I'll be like, "Explain that movie to me without saying something about stupid ass like time travel," and I'll still say that movie sucked. I watched that as a kid too. Either way, Gyllenhaal. So I got 3. Damn, that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Before, it's gonna hurt you. Before it fucking came out, although I love Walk the Line, I didn't care.
Fuck you,
about
dude.
Our boy. Before.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because,
that makes
like
sense.
I said,
Gladiator though.
It just wasn't for me with him though.
Okay.
Like he's not the one that I'm like Gladiator. I'm like fucking Russell Crowe, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
But I give him all respect. You know my review of Joker. We had a good time doing that one. Yeah. So definitely that was a fun one. So he's not on my list now. Don't worry. I don't know who the other 2 would be. Do you have who's your number 3?
I don't think I have. Okay, so probably Vin Diesel, Leto. That's easy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna piss some people off. I can't even think of his name. Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord.
Oh, dude, I hated him for a while.
I can't stand him, man. And I really fucking like the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but just lately, I'm like,
You know what?
you're really kind of a piece of shit, bro. I'm
You
like,
know
you
what
just
did
aren't
it
that
for
good.
me? What did it for me for him
Hmm.
was when I was hearing the rumors that he was gonna do he was gonna be like the new like Indiana.
Oh yeah,
And I
that
was
pissed me
like,
the fuck off.
absolutely not. Because that's when I was already, like you said, everybody loved Guardians 1. I didn't give a shit. Guardians
Mhm.
2 sold me, but he still wasn't the breakout.
No.
You know, I still go for our boy Big Dave. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um so yeah, him with that, and then he was doing all the goddamn Jurassic Park movies that
All of them. I don't give a fuck
I
what
was to
anybody says.
say, some of them are entertaining, but not enough for me to be like,
Fuck
bro,
no.
did you see the new
I'd rather
Jurassic Park?
watch. I'd rather watch Jurassic the second and the third before I watch the
Yeah.
new ones.
Yeah, you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. That's what I'm saying. Like he definitely was one for a while. One that'll always surprise people and also upset them. Will Smith was always on my list for quite some time.
And that was I listened to like a lot of old Howard Stern shit. That
Uh-huh.
seemed to be like the theme. Now, like I thought people
No
loved
one
him
liked
then.
him.
Yeah,
No
everybody
one
was like,
liked him,
"Fuck this
dude.
guy," and it's like, "Holy shit!" I don't remember because obviously I was a kid then when he was fucking making Wild Wild West and shit. So it's like I thought everybody just loved this motherfucker.
Equally an equally terrible decision too.
Oh, easily, dude.
The best thing that came out of Wild Wild West is for fans listening, I'm just obviously you and I at special place.
Hmm.
Listen to Kevin Smith's that Q&A where he talks about the director and what came to be of like that director full circle was gonna be
The
I'm forgetting
Superman
which
one.
yeah.
Yeah, they were making
Wait,
Superman, and
who the fuck so it's not Tim Burton, obviously, or else
no,
fucking Johnny Depp would have been. I don't know the fucking director's name.
it was
So
some guy that like first brought again. I don't know his name, but I know the story. He brought Kevin to his mansion. Kevin brought him out this. He was the guy that
yeah,
was like, "We need a giant fucking spider."
we need in the third act, we need a giant
Yeah,
spider for
yeah.
Superman to fight.
If
It's
anybody
like
knows the
why?
name, yeah. Uh,
And the best thing about that story is him just being like, "Do you know anything about spiders? Or do you know anything about like this certain kind of spider?"
mhm.
He's like, "No." He's like, "It's the deadliest spider in all the kingdom." You're like, why the fuck would someone know that?
Like I'm here to
Whether
make
you're
Superman, dude.
and then yeah, why the fuck would anybody know that? And then also second thought to that, be like, Superman should battle this giant arachnid in the third act of my movie.
Like, bro, this isn't it.
So
Chapter 2.
no, so full circle is the best thing about Wild Wild West is the guy finally got his giant spider,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was a mechanical, weird, like what do the kids call it? Drawing on it, man. It's like a certain like fashion style. It's like very like old timey, like old punk, old
Oh shit! Like, I'm trying to remember. What's it kind of like?
steampunk.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. It's fucking stupid. But like the spider looked like that, and
Yeah.
he finally got it. But yeah, Will Smith, I heard a lot of shit like that too, and it's always funny on the Kevin Smith route. That's why he went with in Jersey Girl, he went with Will Smith being the
Yeah.
actor that like they were like, oh fuck this guy now. Or that's the guy that said fuck Will Smith and all that shit. Full circle back to it, guys. I don't know. I think we have a good solid like top two though. We hate Jared.
Oh, yeah.
He might
Yeah.
be number one a lot of the time.
There's never been a scene with Jared Leto where
He
I'm like,
always
oh,
fights.
interesting.
No.
No.
Because other than like him getting killed in American Psycho or him getting the shit kicked out of
That's
him by
true.
Edward Norton in Fight Club,
That's true too.
I don't want
Wow.
to see him. I don't want to see him act. I want to see him either die or get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, Leto, the side character that has real no
like,
importance or
good job.
relevance. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like I understand why they cast him. You know, he has the look, so it makes sense. I'm like, I'm there for it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'll throw number 4 in there. Mel Gibson. Never understood it. Never got it.
Damn.
Dude's an asshole in real life. Just not a fan whatsoever.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm
surprised
just like,
he hasn't. Surprised he never got like a roast up on Comedy Central.
would have made a lot of sense.
People were like, "It's gonna be really mean." And I'm like, I've just started rewatching some of them. They're all mean. That's what makes them enjoyable.
Yeah, the people
You
they
know
get
what
are
I mean?
pretty underrated too. They get some good
exactly.
people.
Yeah. So
And I think you brought it up I think,
no.
the last time when you brought up fucking Blake Griffin when you did the roast that one time. It's like,
Oh, it was so good.
yeah, those
So
roasts,
good.
fucking bring those back. That's something that they do it on
Right?
fucking Zoom. Who cares? Just have a roast.
That's what the pandemic has taken from us. Yeah. We need a good roast. I don't know who the next shitty celebrity they choose.
Vin Diesel.
No one's like going crazy right now. Yeah, it should be Vin Diesel.
Circles back to Vin.
None of his friends show up. Just people that are like legitimately like, dude, fuck off. It's just us somehow.
Doesn't know anybody. We're
That's
hosting.
how we get picked up. Yeah, we're hosting.
We're hosting the Vin Diesel
Comedy Central literally had no one else. And that's our big break, guys.
Well, they dealt. Did you see the creators of South Park are buying the
trying to buy Casa Bonita?
I'm like, that's cool.
I'm like, that's awesome. I'll go to Casa Bonita every fucking weekend.
Every fucking weekend. That's a good transition to the wide world, I guess, of wrestling, because there's a lot of shit going on in fucking wrestling. If you guys have been missing out, all that shit.
We are still fans. It's hard to be fans sometimes, but
yeah, it gets difficult. It's tough.
Let's start with the wide world wrestling. WWW, guys. Going back to my visit this weekend.
Yeah.
We got to sit in and watch a live show. Not in person, guys. Still pandemic. And we're not in I think it was New Jersey.
Yeah.
But we got to watch GCW's main event. We got to see the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
But the main event, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona versus Nick Gage for the GCW World Title. And anybody that is a wrestling fan, whether you like him or you don't, knows who Nick Gage is.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. We're huge wrestling fans. We've both been wrestling fans since we were single digits. We've watched it since growing up. Yeah. We definitely both have a love for the hardcore violent side of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick Gage is someone character-wise, and we said it, maybe it's just because it's so real, but this guy's following is it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
One of the craziest entrances I've ever seen in my whole life. It was just nuts, man.
That was wild.
Yeah.
It's just I never knew he used a Metallica song, which I was like, shit, I guess I do kind of like this guy now. But just the way the crowd, he explodes again, guys. If you haven't actually watched it or you're not a fan, whatever, he just explodes through the curtains into what looks like not even a mosh pit.
It's just
people surrounding him.
Yeah.
And they're not like surrounding him to hurt him, obviously.
No.
But they're just so in love and captivated by this guy that as a fan of the sport, anybody that disagrees with that term, go fuck yourself. It's insane. Like I said, whether you're a fan of his or not, whether you're a fan of hardcore, deathmatch, violent wrestling,
yeah,
you have to respect to some degree just how over and how good he is apparently in the eyes of the crowd. Like those are the people that are selling out whatever jokes aside. Whatever small venue in Jersey, Ohio, anywhere that they're doing shows, that place is sold out.
Yeah. And any wrestler, past, present, future, would kill for that type of reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere,
that's why
dude.
Nick Gage will actually kill someone for that reaction. Yeah. And so, again, I'm like, I might not be his biggest fan, but I got to respect it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Because I love me some deathmatch violent wrestling. And, guys, we got to see that. And I was skeptical at first. I kept thinking, like, nah, dude. Matt is going to skate through it the whole match without taking any big bumps. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, man.
And then he gets thrown into a plate of glass. And I'm like, uh-oh. Matt's going to blade. And holy shit, did he blade.
Oh, dude. He walked in with a white tank top. He walked out with a bloodshot red tank.
I loved it, though, because as fans, we knew. We both, I think you were the first one that I said it to. We called it the minute he walked out there in white pants and a white tank top. I knew this guy's bleeding tonight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in the deathmatch field, you know when they're doing something, and that's the call. Yeah. So, and it just went for it. We had interferences. We won't get too into it because, again, I don't know the audience necessarily. But if wrestling fans, check it out.
Yeah.
But in the end,
there's some
Matt Cardona. Zack Ryder won his first world title in his entire career, which is already enough.
Yeah.
Applause for him. Good for him.
Built himself back up.
Man, the reception.
Beautiful. Yeah, I loved it.
How do you feel about it?
I saw a lot of people like Meltzer get very upset over that, calling them like pretty much essentially calling the GCW crowd trash and lesser terms. I dug it because I loved it for the wrestler. You know, like that's the reaction you fucking want. That's the heel heat that you're looking for in any program, in any booking. As dangerous as that could have been, and I understand the dangers and the complexity of all that shit. It used to happen all the times in the 90s. You literally could put on any NWO clip and it's literally just either Scott Hall or Kevin Nash or Hogan just getting smacked with a bottle or a can or whatever. But to see just all that trash go into the ring while he's celebrating, and the perfect shot, him going down to his knees, holding the belt like Shawn Michaels. To me, that's beautiful. That's wrestling to me, man. Like Meltzer could complain, but it's like that's what you do this shit for. You do it for the reaction. You do it for the crowd to care. Once the crowd doesn't care for you, that you're fucked. That's it. Like there's no reason to even try anything new. They fucking hate him, and that was the plan all along. To the point where they threw legitimately. I will say, a little bit dangerous, a little bit too much. I'm fine with cans. There's people throwing pizza cutters at him. A little bit too much.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually even knew that.
Yeah. I'm like, there's some slow.
I knew people were throwing bottles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bottles are when I even call it, where I'm like, guys, cans are one thing. Plastic cups are cool, whatever.
White Claws,
bottles
whatever, do what you gotta
dangerous. Do. Yeah, come on. Seltzer water. You're good, guys. Shit. That's nuts.
I think they threw in total, from what they said, 3 like pizza cutters were thrown from the outside into the ring at Cardona, which I'm like, okay, that's a little bit too much. But again, for him, for the talent, I'm like, good for you, dude. Because again, you were let go.
He knew what he was getting himself into.
And it worked though. He fucking pulled that shit off beautifully. He took the fucking damage. He went through all that shit that we were like, is he really gonna, like you said, nobody was really sure that he was actually gonna pull off and let Gage be Gage. And essentially he did. And good Lord, man, that guy's back butchered. Just completely butchered. He got his ass completely beat up, and it worked. And just to have that moment, that singular moment of all the trash coming into the ring, again, a little dangerous. I think it added to the whole storyline. I don't know what the end game is for there, because obviously, as everybody mostly knows, more so this Gage showing up to AEW this last week and wrestling the Painmaker Jericho. I think a lot of people were assuming that Gage was going to get signed. And this is where I'll probably lose some of the hardcore Gage fans, because I do know we have a pretty decent wrestling following. I respect to his reaction, respect to the fans that he has, respect to the pop he gets. Again, any wrestler would love to have that in any scenario, in any situation. In my personal opinion, I don't see the appeal. In my personal opinion, I view him as a one-trick pony, where he's just only good at this capacity. So when I see people being like, sign Nick Gage, I'm like, they're not going to have weekly death matches. Like, I'm sure maybe he could wrestle. I don't know, but I've only ever seen him do a couple of wrestling moves here or there. And maybe he can. I just haven't seen them because most of all the time I see him, he's using weapons and doing this. And that's fine. That's his gimmick and it's worked. Good for him. But for him to be signed, and you would love for the guy to get signed full time so he could have a weekly paycheck, obviously. But at the same time, my whole point of view, it's like once you go down that route where he's gone, that's how they see you. And that's how they always want to book you, because that's who you are now. You're the match is Nick Gage's gimmick. Death match is Nick Gage at this point. But you can't always have that match. Indie shows can, because you can have that shit every now and then, every other month, to pull off some fans in and blah, 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 blah. But AEW, it's like that's a fine line between, like, they can't always continuously do this every single time. They already got shit when they had Omega and Moxley have that whole hardcore match, and people were bitching about that. You already got people kind of bitching about what happened on AEW Dynamite this last week. It's just something that it's not for everybody, but there's an audience. And I think that for him, unfortunately, if legitimately he could say to AEW, I'm not just this one guy, I could do more shit, they say, hey, sure, give him a chance, you know? Fuck it. Why not? But who knows?
The biggest thing, not against him, but to add to what you said, I agree with everything you said. I'm always happy to know that we have some wrestling fans listening along. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you guys. You are our universe. Not that shit on the fucking USA Network. But unless it's Tuesdays and it's NXT, then all right. But so the biggest thing is, you know, but other than the pandemic, global pandemic that everybody knew of, wrestling fans knew of another pandemic that happened a while back called the Me Too movement. And a lot of wrestlers got fucked over, and not fucked over for reasons that they should have been. They got called out for being pieces of shit. Transition to that, Nick Gage, all he has to look at is however long he was there, Jimmy Havoc in AEW.
Yeah.
Despite if Jimmy Havoc's personal life wouldn't have been come out or wouldn't have been leaked, whatever.
Yeah.
And if he was a solid dude, there was only so much that Jimmy Havoc was going to be able to do in AEW. It's like you said, all of his matches, and he might be able to argue himself, but try. All of his best matches are death matches. He hits maneuvers better than you would think a deathmatch wrestler could.
Yeah.
But there was no way he was going to be, he wasn't going to be, I guess, in the nicest way, he wasn't going to be Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Where Darby can do these crazy, stupid things sometimes where like even the stuff that he does, you're like, dude, come on. You're going to cripple yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But he's not needing weapons. And I agree with you. Nick Gage needs weapons. He needs his pizza cutter. He needs the light tubes. He needs something. Jimmy Havoc needed something. And he didn't. Again, the only match I can remember was, I forget the third participant, but it was Havoc, Janela, and someone in the Cracker Barrel match.
It might have been Hangman, but I'm not 100%
Maybe,
sure.
yeah. I can't remember, but I remember being a triple threat, and they used, it might have been just Darby, honestly. I think it was.
It could have been, yeah.
But they used weapons and stuff. But that was like a one-off match type thing. Could he have done the same thing that Darby and Ego did? Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't because of his personal shit.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's there's only so much that certain wrestlers can do. That's why Nick Gage is on top of the world that he already is.
Doing what he does best.
I would say try not to fuck up your life any more than you already have.
Yeah.
And keep riding this fucking wave.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to end anytime soon for him.
No, unless he wants it to. But he's literally the hottest independent wrestler right now working. Just because of pops, ticket sales, he's number one right now in the independent scene that's not signed. But again, I think that's a deterrent to if he ever did want the weekly paycheck. If he didn't want to do the grind of having to travel to indie show after indie show, taking, we know how much indie shows pay, so it's not like it's ridiculous money. He's not getting paid like the big boys do over there, and either with Vince or Tony. So if you were ever to be like, I want a legitimate paying job, that might be a little bit more difficult than some might see it. It's just one of those things where, again, I don't see how you could do it. And like you said, with Havoc, I remember like vividly watching it. The many times they tried to put him in a tag team, it just wasn't coming off the way it should have came off, because it's like, that's Jimmy Havoc, but now he's just in the regular tag team, and it just didn't make sense. With? Fucking the dude that's married to Penelope Ford.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they were a tag team for the longest time.
I forgot about that.
And he was in that program before the whole Me Too thing happened. They kicked him out. They sent him to a rehabilitation center for him to get better, but they just released him completely. But he was only doing that. He was in that weird tag team, the place that Miro took eventually, and then finally that Miro got out of. But yeah, it's like you said, exactly. It was just that, what he brings to the matches. When they signed him, you're like, oh fuck, it's Havoc. We're gonna get that. You didn't get that, because again, I can understand as a booker how you could do that weekly, because then it just takes away from it. You know what I mean? It takes away from him. Because honestly, takes away from the match.
If he was gonna try to do anything like weekly style and cut down his hardcore style, he should have just gone to NXT UK. Like if that was the case, like he should have just done that.
Yeah,
because he would have made more money probably, and before he got fucked over, he probably would have been doing better too. At the same time, he probably would have been better at that.
He would have
point.
Probably been in better storylines there than what he was here in the States, because it just, again, it was a big promotion, USA, all that shit. Just it didn't add up for him, and then that shit happened. They completely took him out, and then it brings us back to this: the reason why you can't have death matches all the damn time on TV is because there's promotions and there's companies that don't want to see that stuff usually. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why Vince and his company is PG to a fault. But that's where they're there, because all these goddamn sponsors, they're so sensitive nowadays to anything. They'll quickly pull the plug as fast as they can. And as we saw Jericho engage, which I was actually shocked that Jericho took as much damage as he did. Same with Cardona. Like Jericho tried for the 15 minutes, 20 minutes to take as much as he could. And I was like, holy shit, like he took as much as Gage can give him. They let Gage be Gage. So And the L to that is there was a scene. He's cutting him up with the pizza cutter. He goes to commercial break. The first commercial is a commercial for Domino's.
Love it.
It was funny as shit. Everybody laughed about it. Everybody clipped it. They showed it all over Twitter. It was just a funny moment. It's
I
ironic.
missed it.
Yeah.
I completely missed it.
It was
I
fucking
watched that
ironic as
match.
shit, man.
I watched the match, but wow.
Ironic.
Man.
And it was funny.
that's
And then
good.
Domino's got word of it, and they come out running, being like, you know what? We're going to stop showing Domino's commercials on TNT and for AEW, and that doesn't describe our company whatsoever. It's just terrible to us.
Does.
And now there's a new scoop about this that literally just came on Twitter right now when I refreshed it. This comes from David Bixpan, Late Night Scoop. A mainstream reporter has been claiming privately that WWE reached out to them about writing a story on the AEW Domino's pizza situation, and I have seen the receipts. Petty shit like that is the reason why.
So hold on. So what that's saying is that WWE is trying to write like a spoof.
They're trying to get somebody to write a spoof to be like how bad it could be, because if TNT starts losing, some of their sponsors, WWE is using that like we're the shiny okay company.
Okay, so easy route. They're trying to be like, oh well, as long as we're not getting cut by fucking Domino's, I think they'll do it. I'm not surprised if they do something like that.
Yeah,
I won't hear it in real time, so I'm not fucking watching that goddamn product. That's fucking not shocking at all. Not shocking at all. I think whoever the writer is, though, is about to get fired.
Most likely, yeah.
Maybe he doesn't care. But the more people that leak shit, the more I'm like, obviously you can't care then. There's no way someone's not going to get wind of this.
It's like that one girl that got she got hired as a WWE writer. She went on a podcast and she was like, well, I don't know any of the wrestlers. I don't know any of their names, but they hired me. They fired her like a week later. Yeah.
Gone in a week. Yep. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Yeah. It was. I'm not saying they're wrong for telling people how stupid it is, but they also, if they want a job, they
don't know how this business works. They're not in the wrestling world. So if anything, that's on fucking WWE for hiring people that have no idea how this business works. They have no idea the kayfabe breaking and all that shit that happens. They don't know the fucking rules and regulations of this shit. They're literally people that write comedy and write for TV shows, and you bring them in here to write for Goldberg. And it's like, fuck you want to do?
They're just like, I got it.
Yeah. But the Domino's thing is ridiculous. It's like, instead of using that for extra promotion just to be funny, be like, hey, man, they fuck it up. So my advice to Tony, just call Shaq, have Papa John's air every single pizza commercial they can. Fuck Domino's.
I mean, dude, like we talk about, that's the real talk about, man. First job that Rossi ever had was Domino's Pizza. So I'm not too shocked they would go this route. They're all a bunch of, they don't know me no more. Fuck them. They're a bunch of assholes. So that's just talking about the owner that I had for like 6 or 7 stores like in the area.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking idiot. And as a young Rossi once said, I was always pretty proud of it. I always said, I don't know how that guy can fucking own a like chain of restaurants, let alone like tie his own fucking shoes. And everybody was always like, that's rough. And I'm like, dude, he's stupid. True story. One of the managers I had, the last manager I had before I finally got out of the pizza world, within 1 month of this new manager being there, 14 employees quit.
Jesus.
And the owner of the franchise was like, nah, it's not the manager's fault. It's the workers.
He went down that route. He doubled down.
And I was like one of the last people to leave. And I remember hearing that. And I was just like, man, I guess the balls, but almost like the stupidity more so, being like, wow, that's rough, dude. So
that's shitty. But that's franchises for you. That's how most of them run. That's how they all go. Before we end this one, real quickly, we talked about this before. Little guy named Phil Brooks, Mr. CM Punk himself. Okay. Hell of a tease on AEW. I mean, they mentioned him almost 4 times. Number one, you had Nick Jackson hit the whole knee in the corner, bulldog. You had Darby mentioned best in the world. Chicago, August 20th. in the United Center, AEW Rampage, the first dance. If people don't understand that connection, CM Punk had put something on Instagram that played the music for the last dance, which is connected to Michael Jordan. So it's like all like fucking connecting and shit. MJF kind of did his own little pipe bomb version as well. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That made me laugh.
I like that one. That was my favorite one.
I saw that in real time, like watching it. And the minute he said, I was just like, all right.
Also, bringing Hoovy into this shit. Hoovy to Guerrero.
That's gonna be good.
I marked. I honestly fucking marked, man. Let him give him a mic and let him talk first, and then have that match go on. But yeah, CM Punk. What do you think? In, out, or do you think they're trolling?
We talked about this earlier. I absolutely believe we're going. The wrestling fans will get it. Anybody else, Google it. I don't care. He's definitely. I feel, in my personal opinion, he's going to go the Ultimate Warrior route for Survivor Series. I think it was, where he literally didn't sign. He literally signed the contract seconds before going out of the curtain.
Yeah.
I see every time I see a post on any social media site the last week of saying CM Punk officially signed, CM Punk is signed. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because either they're hiding it so well to where I will be like, all right, hats off to you, or they're just talking out of their ass right now. And he could still last minute be like, nah.
And knowing him, he can honestly be like, nah. Yeah.
So, end route, absolutely, I would mark out if he did come out.
Same, yeah.
It would be cool to see him no matter what. I don't know what capacity he would actually perform in. Him just showing up still doesn't tell me that he's going to wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His presence. Yeah.
Yeah. I would still be like, wow, this is fucking cool. Just to see him in a wrestling arena, to see him around a ring, maybe get into the ring, just to the whole scene of it. So, I mean, I'm going to be happy about it. But at the same time, I'm not
holding out hope.
I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't happen.
And it better at this point. I'm at the point where I'm like, you better have the pen to paper, because this could, like, even if it's a troll, it could backfire big time, because you've added hype. One thing is rumors and speculation on Twitter. That's one thing. Once you start adding teasers into the fucking show itself, now you're doubling down, being like, either he's going to show up or he's not. And like I've said it multiple times. I think I've said it before in like past videos. Like, CM Punk is honestly the reason why I got back into wrestling. It was like a solid few years I stopped. I probably stopped right after He Who Should Not Be Named. I don't give a fuck. Benoit shit happened. That's when I checked out, because that's, as a kid or like in junior high, started becoming a little too real for me. So I'm like, fuck this. Eddie, Benoit. I'm like, I'm done. Like, this isn't what I want to see. So I checked out. The pipe bomb happens though. That honestly like sucked me back into being like, I want to watch this guy constantly. So if he were to come back, I will not believe it, even if his music fucking hits. I would not believe it until he walks out.
And they're talking about trying to get the licensing for that.
No, Living Color fucking follow them on Instagram and Twitter, which I'm just like, it's a tease, funny. Man. It's a fucking tease. But we'll see. Like, again, I just really hope they got it locked down, because if they don't, that's gonna backfire great way. And I really fucking hope this isn't just for Daniel Bryan. As great as Daniel Bryan is, if that's the debut in Chicago, I think people will cheer, but there'll be a little part of people that are like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, we love Daniel Bryan, but he just wrestled at WrestleMania a few months ago. CM Punk, no offense to Bryan or Bryanson or whatever, is on a different fucking level, where it just comes, again, presence. Yep. Daniel Bryan in the ring, fine. CM Punk in the ring, out of the ring, just being there, it's going to change the entire industry almost. Like, and I'm not comparing the wrestlers that said this before.
What if they did that? They changed his name. He can't even be what is his real name?
Which one?
Bryan Danielson.
Oh, Bryan Danielson? Yeah.
They changed it. They're like, you're Daniel Bryanson now. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, yeah, dude.
It would
Punk,
just be
they're just like, we don't care.
You're Phil. You can be Phil. Go out Phil. There. I made this comparison. I'll probably get eye rolls by the people, but it's like, to me, if they got Punk and Daniel Bryan, I'm not comparing the wrestlers. I'm just comparing the moment. And they show up to AEW. To me, it's as big of a game-changing moment as Nash and Hall showing up to WCW.
It absolutely could be.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to be together.
No, it's just them there.
The quality and the star and the everything going for these two characters and wrestlers throughout the years to now, it absolutely could be.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy to say either. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's one of those wait and sees. It's one of those things where if it doesn't, at this point now, if it doesn't happen, the disappointment's going to be so fucking high that it's going to be a deterrent for AEW, who's on a roll right now. They're killing it. 3 weeks in a row, they've had 1 million viewers. They're slowly and surely getting fucking steam. You fuck it up with this, and this could be a very big fuck up. But if they got him, Vince is going to be mentioning AEW more than he already has. So I mean, it's interesting, man. It'll be intriguing to see what happens. I think we're going to close this episode of the podcast off. I know my family is watching, and you guys are probably like, "What do you think about Westbrook to the Lakers?" We'll talk soon. We'll talk about that another time.
Lakers aren't done. I do have one closing. This is to our music community. It's always a sad day. It's always a sad day when we lose someone, and they actually lost a couple, but not to overshadow any of the other ones or anytime it happens. My personal shout out though is to people who will always know him as a drummer. I know him as a guitar player, but the drummer of Slipknot, the guitarist of the Murder Dolls, Joey Jordison, recently passed away. I want to give a personal shout out, and I posted this and I wrote a kind of story to it. As a kid, listening and seeing that guy play guitar, he's a short guy. He was like about 5 foot, maybe 1 or 2.
Wow.
Short man, and he would always wear like these like platform like shoes, and that was the gimmick though. Other than when he would play drums. When he would play drums, I felt like I had the kind of I saw a lot of resemblance. And I think as a kid struggling, growing up in any time and day, seeing someone that kind of looks like you, you're immediately going to be attracted to it. And also like, oh, wow, if he's doing it, I can maybe do this. And I definitely saw that. I definitely felt that. I was fortunate enough to even get to see him perform and get to meet him after the show. Great guy, tremendous talent in any and all instruments and bands that he performed with. It's a big loss, and I just want to give a personal shout out, and I said it in my post and everything. Thank you, Joey Jordison, for not only influencing me, but countless other fans around the world. So here's to you, man.
Cheers to that. Rest easy, brother. Yeah. And with that, we'll see you guys later on. You guys have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you guys at the next episode.